Yo, what's poppin'? What's crack-a-lackin'? What's really good? You are listening to The Rope Break, your source for news, opinions, and anything else that revolves around the world of professional wrestling. It is I, a man who is so Samoan that I didn't eat anything last night at my wife's office Christmas party because the chicken was cooked. And I am with my boy. He rolls 2 spliffs at a time. They call him double jointed. Brett the Hitman, say what's up to him, buddy.
What's up, everybody? That's right. I'm double jointed all the time, baby.
And alongside him is a man who is guaranteed a job in Michelle Obama's cabinet because in 4 years she'll need someone good to break that wall down. Shockmaster Grizz. Say what up to him, Grizz.
That's wow.
I had to write that one down.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm going to do the really quick unsolicited shout-outs because I always forget, and I want to make sure that people are getting heard. Alternative Control is your source for heavy metal and everything else, local pop culture in Connecticut. I write articles for them. Check it out. PWA is the Professional Wrestling Academy in Cheshire, Connecticut. If you ever had the dream to get in the ring, it's a great way to do it. And they do Friday night fights every week, and you can see live pro wrestling for $5. And Continuum's releasing a new album. If you like heavy metal music, check it out.
Yeah, right on. Go Continuum. And for PWA, you can visit ProWrestlingAcademyCT.com. And the Friday night fights are awesome. It's 5 fights for $5. I mean, you can't beat that.
You know, Hippie Dicky Moon is Danny O'Brien's successor. He's just a little furry guy who does all the really good, tough little guy spots. And
very fun. And that little stable's cool, too. The guys with the painted faces. I love that. Don't they have a stable? Like a little stable
not anymore.
Oh, okay.
Not those guys. But the infamous Injustice League is pretty big.
Yeah,
deal.
That's pretty cool.
That's a cool thing.
Spearheaded by Joseph Von Schmidt himself. So, I had a big. I had a big shock on Sunday because I actually enjoyed TLC, a show that had no build, and I'm the first to complain about this match.
A lot of rematches.
Yeah, and I'm the first to complain usually about gimmick matches that actually have no reason. They just throw them in these matches. But there were a few matches that were straight stinkers. 1 or 2. But I was pleasantly surprised by a majority of the show. How about you guys?
I agree. I enjoyed the AJ Styles Dean Ambrose match. I mean, who didn't? AJ Styles is fucking incredible.
I've just always wanted to see his butt. So
little wardrobe malfunction,
little pants split going on.
Yeah. There. So now I was listening to a few different podcasts this week, and one of the things that all the podcasts with actual wrestlers on them, they all said, "Why the fuck doesn't he have anything under him?"
Hey, I've been
was he wearing a thong under?
Yeah,
I have been in a bathroom with AJ Styles and never seen his ass until this past Sunday.
That's hysterical. So he didn't wear anything under his tights, apparently, and I guess that's like a thing. Like everyone wears stuff under their tights.
Well, at least he wasn't it wasn't. You weren't seeing the goat or the bat wing.
Funny, the goat or the bat wing. That would be ridiculous. Imagine if that was someone's entrance. Just came out and just bent over and given someone the goat.
We were almost there in the Attitude Era. We were almost there.
We were. And what's funny is pre-Attitude Era even, that was always a spot, right? That Flair and Shawn Michaels spot.
Where they're climbing the ladder or whatever, you pull the back of the trunks down.
Or a
little butt crack.
Go for a schoolboy, mid-match, and Shawn Michaels' ass is hanging out.
Ziggler's done it.
Rick Rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ziggler has done it.
So I'm just saying it's no homo, I guess. I don't know.
Really? There's a lot of homo in wrestling.
Regardless.
So, basically, one match in particular that I was very impressed with was Kalisto and Baron Corbin. That was a chairs match, which usually always suck. And it was. I thought that was a very impressive match. Kalisto worked his ass off.
I was shocked too, honestly. He really did work his ass off, and they made that match great. Because I know a lot of us were like, "Dude, not this fucking match again." And just to let you know, they wrestled on SmackDown again this week too. So I'm just getting fucking sick of that.
I didn't see that match, but I do like the story a little bit.
You think Kalisto I know Bear was saying last week? You think he just jumps to 205 Live or goes to the cruiserweight division, or what do they got planned for him?
I think they just want to keep him on the main roster. He's that good. But here's the thing: that's where the cruiserweight division gets really convoluted. And you can't have it both ways.
You
either have to have it a steadfast division, and that's what they do. Because if you're going to go
anyone under that weight has to wrestle there,
right? Like that's the thing. Like that's what I thought TNA always did right with the X division. Like, hey, if you are worthy of the X division, you can be the X division champion, and that is as simple as that, right?
Right.
And like the cruiserweights aren't like that.
It's not about weight limits. It's about no limits. Was the tagline even? And that's why Samoa Joe can go in there and whoop ass on fucking AJ.
Case and point. Yeah. But now they've pigeonholed themselves with this weight class, and then on top of it, have certain guys floating around.
Going to NXT.
Dude, Finn Balor. Finn Balor is a cruiserweight. And so when he comes back, he's going to be the Universal Champion.
It's
fucking champion of the universe. So, they really need to tighten that situation.
Depends how over you are. Or what do you think it depends on?
Yeah. And your skill level, your potential to be over. I mean, Kalisto, listen, they don't have anybody to hit that Latin demographic, which if you go to Raw in Hartford.
Yep.
Look at that demographic. It's there's a lot of Latino people there, and they have to cater to that.
Yes, they do.
And,
they do.
There isn't really anybody to do that. I mean, God, I don't know why they only had a 6'5" Mexican who could fucking shoot fight, built like an Adonis.
Who's not terrible.
No
on the
homo.
mic.
It's only wrestling, but
not terrible on the mic. Spoke English.
Spoke English.
Like,
they never had anybody like that. I don't know why they fucked that guy up so bad.
Gold medalist quality wrestler.
It's so strange. So strange. And they stick him with Zeb Coulter after a 2-year feud with him. It was so weird.
Was the guy that he got in the fight with initially in the cafeteria, was that a writer?
I believe so, yes.
Well,
you know what? I never thought about that.
That's
a good point. But, I just... If you are a legit professional, and I understand that in the arts things can be petty, and people can be petty, and so much of your personality is actually in the work that you do that things tend to be taken too personally sometimes. But wouldn't it be just better for the business, like to quote a long-nosed COO, like what's bad for business, what's good for business? Like don't lock yourself up into some petty bullshit. Because if you write for the guy, he's talented, he's good. You can go farther.
Or you can take 4 guys that you were trying really hard to push individually, put them into a stable that doesn't make sense, and have them lose all the time. You could do that. That'd be handy.
Just because they're foreign.
Well, and Cesaro and Sheamus are the lingering after effect of the League of Nations,
right?
Because they're both, foreigners who whatever. It's stupid.
Yeah.
I digress. We're talking about TLC. It was good. It was enjoyable. The chairs match had a couple spots that, when AJ started setting up chairs across from each other, I'm like, we already saw that.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
How about the one where it was all the chairs set up actually open, and he fucking sentoned them?
Yeah.
That was great.
That was good.
I thought that was good.
I enjoyed that too.
And then
I was like, this kid's gonna die. I thought Corbin was gonna FU him on them or something.
Yo, how about the suicide dive into the fucking spinning sidewalk slam onto the floor? It was timed perfectly. I don't know how you time that.
It was majestic.
I don't know how you time that.
Don't you wonder that sometimes? How the fuck these guys time some of the things that they do?
That's hopes and dreams, dude. That's the only way you can do it. This guy's going to dive between 2 ropes at me, and I'm thank God he's light enough and I'm strong enough to fucking grab him and twist him around my body the right way and then slam him on the floor without him flat on his back so he doesn't die.
I even think that when Sami Zayn does that thing through the ropes outside of the ring and he does it to the DDT,
yeah.
I always think that too. I'm like, dude, how does this guy make it perfectly through the ropes and then he gets caught with the DDT thing right there? I'm like, dude, it's perfect every fucking time.
Yeah. So basically, the show was a spot fest, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was all right. I was genuinely kind of... I just didn't see Alexa Bliss winning the women's title yet. But, I mean, I've paid more attention to her since you hammered into my mind that she's good.
Heel, yeah.
And, she's good.
Good heel.
Non-talking smack, she was kind of teasing face a little bit. She's like, my family's here.
Yep.
I'm so happy. I can't believe this. Because this is the only time I've ever watched Talking Smack.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden she's like, but you know what? I'm a bitch.
Yeah, and that show in particular does a good job, I think, because it gives the wrestlers a little bit of a free reign, and so they come across as like a half shoot, half kayfabe thing, and they always try and stay true to their character as much as they can. Speaking of talking,
Baron
smack,
Corbin was good on it. On Talking Smack.
I think if you shave his head and let that guy go, there
wants
might be
to
something
be
there.
a,
And whatever's weird with that fucking belly button, though.
Oh my god!
It looks like a mouth. Like it looks like a fucking like. I haven't seen any memes, but I'm sure they're out there.
They got to be out there.
Yeah,
they're definitely out there. But it's cool to see that on Talking Smack though too, because a lot of the people that don't get the time on the air or the time to express themselves can finally get on that show and say a little bit of what they want. He was saying to Daniel Bryan, he wants to be in the main event mix now. He wants to be like pushed for.
He's not there yet.
But he's not there yet. But Daniel Bryan was like, "Oh, I'll give you somebody else to fight." But he doesn't think he's there either.
I think a lot of people in the company like him.
It seems
so.
Like
there's got to be something.
It
there.
seems like they do.
So
I like his finisher.
Talking Smack, I think we'd all agree, is a very good show. But one weird thing that they've done is they've pushed it after 205 Live. Now,
have they really?
And 205 Live is strange. Like, so I watched the first episode. I didn't see the second, and there's no good there's no that one of the things that everybody loves about wrestling is that that live event feel to it. Like you could feel the energy, even it comes across on television. And something about 205 Live where it's at the end of SmackDown where everyone has already seen an entire episode of the main show, SmackDown, and everyone's walking away. And you could see the championship match is happening on 205 Live, and people are exiting the arena, and you can see it, and the energy comes across that way.
205 Live? It's taped. It's at the SmackDown show.
It's not taped. It's live on the network.
I know
at the end of SmackDown.
At the end of SmackDown, and like you said, because even when Rich Swann won the title on 205 Live on the first episode, all they were talking about on the internet is that there was nobody in the crowd.
Right.
So they have to work on that. They have to figure out something to.
The only way to do it is to put it in before the show and tape it. You got to do it.
I get they could do that, and I guess people have to get up for work the next day or whatever. But I would think, if I was there, I would stay for 205 Live if I knew the title match was coming.
Yeah, you would. But these guys have to be able to get over with a more focused crowd.
You're right. They have to do it before SmackDown.
Crowd, right.
There's no other way to do it.
You got to get the crowd invested into these guys' personalities. They're tiny as it is. I don't know. It's just
what if they did like you said? So SmackDown's 8 to 10. What if they just do 205 Live 7 to 8, and then they hit Talking Smack afterwards? That would have been a better decision because that way the crowd is going to be there for it.
Yeah, but they're doing Superstars and fucking everything else before that. That's what starts at 7.
They do Superstars before Raw, so it has to be they do Main Event before SmackDown, right?
Whatever. There's too much goddamn wrestling,
dude. They got
too many shows.
I don't know why they just don't. Main Event is more popular than Superstars. They should just cut the fucking Superstars thing out.
Yeah, well, Superstars is Main Event.
It's the same.
It's just the same show. When they first started Main Event, I liked that show. It was what they did. The reason why it was called Main Event was because there was one match.
One match. It's only on Hulu, right? And they took
the entire hour. It's on the network too.
It's on the network too. They don't put them on right away though. It's like
it's a delay
on the network.
I think that's a television thing. But excuse me, and they built up to the Main Event for an entire hour. And it got you by the end of that shit. By the time the 35-minute mark came and the match was about to start, you were totally invested in this match. And I thought that
even if it was Darren Young versus
But they built it. They told you a story, which is why we watched the shit.
Yeah.
And maybe because of Shawn Michaels' ass back in '93. But that's why I started it. I'm gonna continue.
I only liked it when he had the mullet.
This is the homosexual innuendo theme.
Yeah, there we
go.
All right.
If you haven't noticed,
I just want to make sure that we are burning every possible bridge we can, and what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, I'm not making fun of anything.
No, I know. I'm kidding.
I'm actually embracing it.
Yeah.
I'm.
Yeah, well, let's go on a date.
Sure.
Stone Cold. Just
it doesn't count.
I'm with it.
It doesn't count as adultery if it's.
Do you think if two burly men like us if we started to make out that our beards would get caught like Velcro?
Wow. Huge point I'd like to make.
Yeah.
How do you put, if I can, because we're just kind of going anyway.
Yeah.
How do you take Enzo as a face, as somebody who little kids are looking up to, and have him deliberately attempt to commit adultery, kind of almost have reservations about it, but then dive in full on, take his clothes off, and then
There was a lot of reservations about it.
Yeah, I
He did a lot of babyface stuff, I thought, to keep it that way. I get it.
when she said take your clothes off, don't take your clothes off, bro. You're with a married woman. I don't know. That's my opinion. If he's a face, if Rusev and Lana were just dating, you know what I mean? But this is like you're kind of insinuating.
She was being super seductive, though, and like it was all everyone knew where it was going.
Of course, I don't like it as a face who is pandering to even the children in the audience, to be in a position where he could conceivably and obviously wants to commit adultery. I didn't like that.
That's a valid point. And to that point, do you think that there's a legitimate push toward out of the PG stuff now, or are we transitioning?
Triple H's
At least on Raw.
Triple H's best comment that I liked when they were going to PG rating and everyone was up in arms and bored with the stale product and Orton versus Cena and blah blah blah, was we went so far that we have to go all the way back to take steps towards getting to where it's actually appropriate. So like, if you want a chair shot to mean something, you can't have chairs in every match and have every match be a hardcore match and a Falls Count Anywhere match. You save that chair shot for an important moment, or you save, that son of a bitch for an important moment where you really want to convey meaning. So I think if they are, taking steps,
That would be perfect booking.
yeah, I think if they're approaching, not Attitude Era, but like if they're approaching, a more liberal use of these adult themes, that's cool. But at least they can, because they reestablished the...
But use it to make a better product,
Yeah.
a better story.
Mm-hmm.
Valid point by the Shockmaster.
I need to drink faster because I'm just sounding way too sober right now.
That was very good.
We never went over the TLC results, did we? The pay-per-view
No,
results?
I don't believe we did.
Do you guys want to hit that now, or you want to wait a
Sure,
little bit?
yeah, that's a good point. Let's run down that real quick, and then we can just
You want me to do through the records, or do you want me to go through the matches real quick, or what do you want to do?
Just let's start with what was that? What was the opener match? Like
It was like one of those 4-on-4 tag team matches.
I didn't see that match.
It was 3 tag teams versus 3. It was like the Hype Bros, the Ascension, the Vaudevillains. They were all mixed in.
Wait, let me go back to this Enzo stuff real quick because I'm thinking about it right now. So
I was surprised you didn't neither of you guys had anything to say about that. That's like huge to me.
Yeah, so it is. And so do you think that, first of all, I didn't really understand why Rusev was there.
To attack him. Like,
No, I know.
It didn't make any sense because it was like Lana was going to go ahead and go with it, and then all of a
Him
sudden,
being there, which didn't make any sense.
Yeah, all of a sudden she set him up at the end. I was like, wait, that just came out of
Well, no,
nowhere.
I knew she was going to set him up. We knew that, right? But he was in the room
With the whole time this was going on.
She just calls him,
And then all of a sudden he shows up.
But they didn't do a good job of his side of it.
They didn't.
Like, why was he attacking him?
It just
because
didn't-
he just tried to bang his wife.
But why? Why did they set him up?
Because of a couple weeks ago, there was a shower scene with Lana. Or
So
something, right?
Rusev was, I don't know.
It wasn't a shower scene. It was like it was Cass locked Enzo out of the locker room.
Oh, yes.
And he was
There's
naked.
too much fucking wrestling. I can't remember.
Lana was pretending to stare at his dick. It
Right.
was just like this is what they were saying on the internet. They're portraying her. She's a married woman. And
Okay,
they're
so
portraying her like this.
Rusev has a motive for this setup then.
Yeah.
So it was a setup the whole time, and that's why Rusev was in the room already.
Yeah. I thought that was clear. I'm sorry.
Right, but he wasn't mad. He wasn't just beating up Enzo because he caught.
No. That was a complete. That's why it was supposed to be Rusev versus Big Cass, so that Big Cass was in the ring, and then See, but you know what? They could have.
Thank you.
I got it.
Spelling it out for me.
I got it, but I also understand where you're coming from. Like, they definitely could have made that somewhat clear at all.
Yeah.
They just shit the bed on this one topic, I think, in my opinion.
They go out of their way to tell these stories all of a sudden, and then they do it haphazardly.
But and what payoff?
What a word for a Samoan.
What
Haphazardly.
what payoff do you get by having a singles wrestler feud with a tag team. Right?
Yeah. Well, yes. Well, they're both good on the mic, and it's fun.
Well, and Rusev's good. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
I like
that's
him.
what I'm saying. Yeah. So like that's it. He's got the hot wife, and
he's
Enzo's
imposing
good.
enough to threaten Enzo and to stand up to Cass.
Right. There you go. You know, and there's all these stories that could be told with that tag team because that tag team is Enzo's such a personality, and Cass is his fucking protector, and so I like it.
Which is basically Paulie and Mike. Right?
That's funny, yeah. Well, no, Mike's got a lot of personality.
Oh, sure. So does Cass.
Yeah, that's true.
Paul just talks all the shit, and then he's like, "Yeah, that's my brother."
That's true.
And Paul can hold his own too, just like Enzo.
Yeah,
Wow, that's wow.
that's good.
Yeah, that's real.
That's good. So, basically, where do we go from here with this feud? Is it just a one-off match with Enzo? With Cass and Rusev?
I think it's Cass and Rusev because I think they're going to play the role, and maybe Enzo's too injured now because he got beat the bricks off him.
The entire time that they've been a tag team, because there was a long time in NXT where Enzo was hurt.
Okay, so they're used to this.
And it was like, and everyone always said, and then there was the time when they first came up to the main roster that Enzo hit his head.
So
coming out of the ring. Remember
Cass
that
has a little
spot?
solo
That was
thing going
rough.
on.
With the vaudevillains?
Yeah.
That was rough.
And so there's always been talk of Enzo going full out manager. What do you guys think of that?
I wouldn't say
He could work. That's the thing. Like I love those tag spots where like Cass is throwing him out of the ring onto people.
I
love
wouldn't
those
mind
spots.
it, but I want to make sure he's still involved too a lot, like he is now. At least I wouldn't just make him just a manager.
So a manager
no
who
wrestling.
can take bumps and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
That would
they've
be
also
cool.
got a new Age Outlaws. Like they've got. I mean, those guys are
But that doesn't
fucking
mean
over.
Yeah, but he could do the shtick
Yeah,
still.
yeah.
I just want to know, like, is there legit main event quality in Cass as a single act?
Was there in Kevin Nash?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Then yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah,
though.
but that's the thing. Kevin Nash had all the charisma and the look.
Kevin Nash had some charisma.
He has a lot of charisma.
He had a better look,
Physical
way
charisma.
better look.
That's what I'm saying. Physical charisma is what I mean.
Yeah, but
And the way he moved, and he always stayed in character, and he was cool, and you know what I'm saying?
yeah. But I just mean, as far as again another equivalent, you know, Sean and Diesel, you know, a lot of personality, a lot of talky, you know, athletic littler guy, and then the big, you know. But I mean, Cass is
So basically, you just want to see Enzo's ass during Schoolboy.
Well, I already have. He's naked all the time
Just,
now.
I mean, you made the Sean comparison. Yeah.
He's naked all the time now. But I, you know, Big Cass is so much more athletically gifted than Diesel ever was anywhere. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, but
So does he get stuck in a Titus O'Neil pigeonhole? You know, where no matter what he looks like and how athletic he is, he just doesn't get over. But he is over.
So were we talking on the air about that Titus O'Neil thing?
no
So basically,
tussle in Texas.
so it was a tussle in Texas, and it was a
was a
Mark Henry squash match.
It was Mark Henry versus Titus O'Neil, and it lasted with the bell ringing, Titus O'Neil going to clothesline Mark Henry. Mark Henry ducks and power slams him for the 3 count. So 10 seconds.
Awesome.
Boom.
What?
Here comes
Who does? Somebody gonna get their ass kicked.
somebody gonna get there.
Who does that benefit? Tell me, Mark Henry is at the very fucking last fucking cunt here of his career.
Is Mark Henry from Texas, or did he go to University of Texas or something?
Oh, he's from
he was
Silby,
doing this
Texas.
the whole time, and he was doing the Texas
All right,
thing.
so-
Silby,
okay.
Texas.
All right,
So that's why they did it.
So this is the one match that they decided to let the hometown guy win.
somebody gonna get
This
there.
is the first.
Dude, his music went off, and then like literally 10 seconds later was back on. I was like, "What the fuck?" I like turned my head for 2 seconds, and I was like, "What the fuck just happened?"
All right, so you have, but Titus is older, right? He's a little bit older than your typical guy
Yeah.
with his wrestling experience.
The question is, why did they call it the Tussle in Texas if it was going to be a 10-second match? Why did you even put a title?
Because it's not even a match; it's just a tussle. It's just like whoop.
I was just so confused. I was like, all right, so we got this big because they like did it before they went to commercial too. They're like, the Tussle in Texas is next, and they had this big thing for it and everything. I was like, okay,
but they can't find anything to write Sami Zayn into.
Right?
They could write the Tussle in Texas for that segment. That segment probably cost at least $200,000.
These fucking guys are so terrible. It was what me and him were just speaking on before. Naomi, I don't know. They're using it because they're not sure because if she's black or what it is. But she was left off which I don't like to say because
hot.
She's a beautiful woman. But they left her off. They won an award for the Divas show. The Total Divas, and she's
what award was that?
It's like something the Win Choice
fucking
Award
AVN?
or something. I don't know. It was something called the Win Choice Award or something. I was like AVN. It was I guess she was left off the picture, and she hasn't had any storylines for SmackDown either. So like she was voicing her opinion on Twitter, and like a lot of the wrestlers are tweeting her back, like supporting her, and a lot of the fans are saying, "What the fuck is wrong with WWE?" You know, she's the most athletic. She's never touched a title. You know, like all this stuff like that. She just has nothing going on for her either. And now, like, a lot of people are tweeting.
Some stuff, though, like she doesn't lay her punches in nicely. She can't, that drop kick, she can't land it.
She didn't land it that one time.
She doesn't ever land it. And, you know, there's certain things. That entrance is killer, though.
I love the entrance.
Oh, my God, that entrance is like
but
unreal.
They put Alicia Fox in the picture and not her. So picture that. You know what I mean? It's like,
she
plus,
looks like
they have
if Rihanna was a dude.
Exactly.
It would be Alicia Fox.
And Lana's even in the picture. Obviously, we all know how hot she is and everything, but she doesn't even wrestle. So it's like she
is wrestling,
but she's gonna wrestle, right?
Yeah, she did a match in NXT. She's trying to pick out a name for a finisher. So I guess that's how you have her. How you have Rusev feud with the tag team.
And it all ties back.
Yeah. Shoot. Or
Cody Rhodes. Did you see that?
I did. I put it on your wall.
Is that how I saw it?
Yeah.
Can you explain that to me a little more?
It's NJPW. Cody Rhodes joined the Bullet Club.
Which is okay. So
he should lead the Bullet Club, but I know Kenny Omega's doing his thing.
So all right. So let's lay it. Here's what happened. You know what?
The biggest thing in wrestling that is not WWE, basically.
Everyone, right now, Google this, watch it, so that we can have a conversation about it. And we're gonna go now. Cody Rhodes did the final battle Ring of Honor thing and turned heel on Jay Lethal. I like Cody as a heel. I think there's a lot of potential in him as a babyface, but if he's gonna be like that, so we've seen this whole shift with guys being able to make some real money on the indies, right? I think Cody Rhodes can be the guy to actually like make it legit. I'm talking like, okay, yeah, these guys made some good money on the indies, but when they get the chance, like the Young Bucks, 2 years. They just signed a 2-year contract with Ring of Honor.
Just signed an extension?
Yeah.
Wow.
No WWE for the Young Bucks. I thought it was going to happen.
Wow. Good for them, though.
Definitely thought it was going to happen.
If they're happy, you know what I mean? If they're making enough money.
You got to understand, those guys make a lot of merchandise money.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with the WWE that's so enticing, is you get a chance to make the
merchandising.
merchandise money. If you are an act like the Young Bucks, who can really, they're the only one beside them and the Bullet Club, but the Bullet Club has to whack it up all these different ways now. But they make the merchandise money.
So this is where the club that's in the WWE right now, that's where they came from.
Where they came from. It's called the Bullet Club.
So
it's basically an homage to the NWO.
And
okay?
Finn Balor started it.
So Finn Balor started it. So now that Cody Rhodes has been in WWE, now that he's going into it, how do you feel about that? Do you think that's a good idea?
So, listen, it started about 2013, 2012, around there, as like an homage to the NWO. Smash cut to 4 years later, and it literally is the NWO. Everyone and their motherfucking mother has been in the Bullet Club.
Wow.
So,
but it is better than Aces and Eights.
Is there too many?
Way better
my
than
God,
Aces and Eights.
Aces and Eights shouldn't.
Aces and Eights was like ripping off.
You
the
and
Bullet
I
Club.
wasted way too much time talking about Aces and Eights. Looking in hindsight,
Yeah,
we talked a lot about Aces and Eights.
Yeah.
What a
Well, we were
shit.
hoping, man. We were hoping something would happen for TNA.
I can't believe that fucking company is still in business.
Oh, and we got that to talk about too. But finish with Cody, please.
God, final battle. Why weren't we there?
I know.
So, Cody Rhodes is now turned heel in Ring of Honor, but now he just put out a trailer. Fantastically produced, great video. Like, you've all watched it because that was your what you were tasked to do. But it's like it's like a blur shot. It opens up, and he's sitting there like very, very mobster-esque, very like gangster-esque, which is the whole Bullet Club's theme. That's the cool thing about it, is because it's Japan, they've taken a very hard edge to it. Okay. And like, you believe these guys are mean and nasty and evil. That's the best part about it. That's
okay.
It's funny because the Young Bucks are goofballs,
but they do mean things.
Yeah,
fucking super kicking women and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like that's, you know, and so basically, they've had a shift in that since everyone came to the WWE. Those were the top guys, AJ and the club. You know, Gallows and Anderson.
Definitely, they've been very big.
They were the top guys in the Bullet Club. So and Finn Balor, they all bounced, and then Kenny Omega, who has crazy talent, is now spearheaded that, and some other guys are coming in. So Cody's going over there. He's going to be the leader. He's turned heel. They've taken in this package. They referenced all his gimmicks that he's had in the WWE.
They had the mask on,
but in such a clever way. They didn't whack you over the head with it. It wasn't on the nose. It was all the mask. All that was all these little subtleties. And then it comes up as he's the American fucking Nightmare. Who didn't think in the WWE? Who didn't think of the fucking American Nightmare? You assholes.
That's good because it's Japan. So yeah.
For no one that can see, Joe just threw his hat on the ground.
Yeah, this is not a visual thing right now, but like, you got to be kidding me. It took that long to come up with the American Nightmare. He looks like a heel.
Because the American Dream.
That's what I'm saying.
For the fans that didn't quite grasp exactly why Joe's freaking out. Joe is a gigantic Dusty Rhodes fan who does the single best Dusty Rhodes impression I've ever heard.
Well, thank you, Daddy.
And we've talked at length about the American Dream here on this podcast, and the American Nightmare, being Dusty's son, the son who can actually do something that he wants to do instead of doing the Goldust thing because he left because they wouldn't let him not do it anymore.
Right.
Do we know who came up with the American Nightmare?
I don't know, but you add the other level to that, like Bear was just alluding to, that it's in Japan. Whenever like the American, like they're always the heels and they're the best ones, and they really hype up the American patriotism.
When I saw the clip,
so to
last
have
night,
him be the American Nightmare in Japan, I think that's a fucking home run. That's good for the Bullet Club. This is like a whole new thing for the Bullet Club now.
It is.
Very cool. I think that, like, going back to my original point, I think that Cody Rhodes has true potential. Now, you can't consider New Japan an indie. That's a legit outfit that pays guys real money.
They pay real well, right? That's what I've heard.
But, I think that Cody Rhodes can be the guy of all the guys that have tried it to take leaving the WWE to the next level and be able to really do something outside of the WWE.
Agreed.
So that's really cool.
And so he probably doesn't go back to TNA at all.
At this point, no.
He just helped transition Brandy Rhodes in there.
And on the same show, Final Battle, Matt Hardy shows up.
Oh, my God.
As broken Matt Hardy. So that's the thing. Is like, these guys go into ROH and ROH lets them have one-off appearances. They have their guys like the Briscoes and like the Young Bucks and like Kyle O'Reilly who've signed contracts with the ROH. But then there's other guys who can pop in and out at will. Your Codys, your like Roderick Strong. He didn't sign the contract this time, but he can go back if he wants to. It's a whole thing. So the Hardys go there. Do we see Matt Hardy in the Royal Rumble? No, he's going to ROH. He's made an appearance.
That. Actually, I genuinely thought about that. And if we can really quickly, because I don't want to spend much time on total nonstop deletion, because my thoughts on this. Like, they're just saving money by producing, shit, backyard shit with better cameras because they can afford some cameras. They don't have to pay for a venue. They don't have to pay for production. They don't have to pay for an audience. I think it's more about... Well, hang on. Finish blowing your nose. But I have legs with what I'm saying right now. Yeah. Josh Matthews And Borash, obviously, he's head of creative, so he's going to leap laud praise upon anything that TNA does. But Josh Matthews had the fucking balls, and I never thought he had a single testicle, let alone two. He had the balls to say that Total Nonstop Deletion, 30 minutes of it that he has seen, is better than any WrestleMania he's ever seen.
You got to be fucking kidding me.
He said it. I know he can't possibly be serious, but like, bro,
that's
you better resurrect Randy fucking Savage to fight Mr. fucking Perfect.
Yeah, that's pandering to the Twitter universe more than Enzo panders to a fucking crowd.
Right.
That's just him mouthing.
I know, but bro, come on. Like, come on. You got to at least have some pride in yourself. You know what I mean?
You shameful piece of shit.
Tell me next that Marcus Bagwell versus Booker T on Monday Night Raw was the best match you've ever seen. Tell me that.
Oh my God,
following,
dude.
Please.
Wow.
All right. Or like Cameron. Go ahead. Tell me Alicia Fox is your favorite wrestler. I get it. Okay, so you don't know a fucking thing. Anyway.
Right. That's the thing.
So I ate up your sneezing time.
Thank you.
But that's what I wanted to bring up about that. That's
Josh
fucking
Matthews.
stupid as fuck. I thought maybe Matt Hardy would show up at the Rumble if he's not if
There's
his
been
contract
rumors.
with TNA is
There's
done.
there's been rumors about the Hardy Boys showing up soon. I don't know exactly what they are, but
Dave Meltzer says that they can go to the WWE whenever they want.
whenever they want. Hey, I wouldn't blame it.
So,
if the money's right, they
I don't
probably
think
will.
he
But
comes
that
back
goes-
for good though.
But that goes back to what you're saying, though. Is like
Is it just brief and then he
you're
goes
taking
back?
about the TNA having the cost and stuff like outweigh that for them. Yeah, that's all added bonus. But I think this thing is more about the Hardys having creative control, and this is what they want to do.
Way more, and that's why I think if he shows up at the Rumble to make a paycheck, so he can produce another fucking stupid backyard bullshit.
Good.
You know,
Some of it's pretty funny.
I love backyard wrestling. I've done a lot of it.
Sure.
And I know that you can do it well and make it fun and actually like produce it for people to watch.
Sure.
But when you're trying to make an argument for being the second biggest wrestling company in the country and you openly say that you want to compete with WWE, come on. That's what you're putting an entire episode of hanging out at Matt Hardy's fucking house? I hate it. As much as I hate James Ellsworth getting so much screen time. I hate this as well. I think it's all indie, not indie. See now? I love the indies. I think it's all Bush League bullshit.
Where do we go with this? Where does this go? Does AJ Styles drop the strap to this guy?
To The Undertaker?
No, to Ellsworth.
Oh.
Where are we going here?
Well,
It's going to be with Ambrose, right?
if it's a feud with Ambrose and you just get like 30 minutes of Ambrose beating the piss out of some fucking jobber, cool. That's fine with me because you don't have anything else for Ambrose,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Because Ambrose ain't winning the strap back from AJ.
So, do you think that's just like a lack of characters on SmackDown? What is the issue here with it? We need to dissect Dean Ambrose because I want to like the guy. I have no interest in anything that he does except getting his ass beat by the best wrestler in the world, AJ Styles.
Yeah. If he was edgier,
The fucking 450 through the table,
springboard 450 through the table to the outside. That one.
Oh my God! What
I
a
know.
spot!
I marked out.
A spot.
I marked out.
That was fantastic.
Unbelievable.
That was so good. And now, do you hang yourself out there like that on a nightly basis, or do you just?
Oh my God, no.
You just. But like,
That's why RVD watered down. He said it on his DVD.
you have to.
He's like, listen, I could do ECW one night a week for the rest of my life, but I can't do that 5 nights a week for WWE. It's not going to happen, But no, that's what I think AJ's doing right, because there are definitely times where like he has a match, maybe on SmackDown, maybe even at a pay-per-view, and you're like, he didn't really dig too deep for that. He didn't really get
but
into
that's the
his
thing
shit
is
yet.
like he could sell a fucking armbar for 5 minutes. You know
Sure.
what I'm saying?
And if you save it for those moments, I don't think TLC is the right pay-per-view to do something like that, unless there's nothing else going on your pay-per-view and you need to make it memorable. I mean, he's not going to do that to The Undertaker either. So, or probably Shawn Michaels might take that. I don't know. He's. I just had the image of the Triple H Shawn Michaels 2002 SummerSlam match, where Shawn Michaels puts Triple H on a table, goes back in the ring, climbs to the top rope, and is like, "Fuck me," just elbow drops him through it.
Yeah.
Like he'll, yeah. I really hope that's the match. No offense to Taker, he's doing his thing, but I think that'd be a way better match.
It's not going to happen for Royal Rumble.
You don't think?
No, because I think they would have already been selling that match. Granted, that is the one match that you can just pop up week before and sell it, but
they're not selling Taker either. They're not selling anything for AJ for the Rumble. And if it's going to be, I mean, you're not going to have Owens.
No, I'm thinking Cena, but that's got to be WrestleMania.
Yeah, well, that's that. Well, but Cena Taker at Mania.
Yeah, I see Cena AJ.
Really?
Mania. Yeah, because Cena's going to come back, and then they're going to.
That's why he keeps saying he's the face that runs the place. They're waiting for Cena.
Yeah, they're going to keep that going. They never finished it.
So you think Jericho wins the Rumble and fights Owens?
Oh, that'd be fucking sweet.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be sweet. And you take care of Lesnar and Goldberg take care of each other. And that's
of course.
That's how you get them out.
Yeah.
That's how they don't win. You know what I mean?
Not to, I think that's
but
pretty
does Goldberg win?
Apparent.
Does Goldberg win then?
The Rumble or
Yeah.
the match?
The Rumble.
No.
Wait, they're fighting
Jericho
each other.
wins the Goldberg. Or Jericho wins the Goldberg. Jericho wins the Rumble.
Okay.
Or Cena. Ugh. Or Taker. There's the Cena, Taker, AJ triangle on SmackDown.
That has yet to come
That's
to
going to
fruition.
go either to Rumble and then to Mania, whatever.
Well, thank
And then
God,
there's-
because they need fucking baby faces.
And you've got to have Owens versus Jericho at Mania at this point. I mean, you've spent so much time and been so patient with that. You got to
keep it going.
And so Owens can't lose the belt.
I hope they don't do something ridiculous and end up like closing that feud at Elimination Chamber or something absurd. They would do that. Elimination Chamber's coming back. And so we do have one pay-per-view before, right?
Yeah.
Before the
my
Rumble.
God, it's fucking insane, but yes.
So what?
Roadblock is next week.
Yep.
What's on that? And what's anything?
Reigns with the U.S. title not on the line against Owens.
For the Universal title. That's the big match that they're having right now. That they're doing.
I did enjoy how they were like building up to after was it Survivor? Yeah, it was Survivor Series, and they were going back and forth about who was to blame.
Yeah, I know that was
and they
hilarious.
built up to it, and then they perfectly timed it. That's tough to do live.
It is.
We know who's to blame. Roman Reigns.
Roman
Said
Reigns.
at the
That
same
was good.
time.
They're also doing another match. They're doing Seth Rollins versus Chris Jericho, and then the match that's going to take over that will probably be the main event over Owens and Reigns, that I'm assuming is the Iron Man match, Sasha Banks versus Charlotte.
I think they could say Iron Woman match.
I
don't think it would hurt.
They were calling Iron Man. That's why I was like,
I know.
They could say Iron Woman. They kept calling it Iron Man in the air, so I'm like,
They have said Iron Woman before. This
They
is not
have
the
to, yeah.
first
I
match.
think they could afford to, but the Bayley Sasha Banks one was match of the year that year, so I think that could be really good.
Sasha and Charlotte can still having good matches.
Well, they're both going to be like 4-time women's champions. Because you're not going to have
switching the
Charlotte
title.
end the streak at pay-per-views.
yeah, she's going to win it back at the pay-per-view, right?
Yeah.
Or unless it's a disqualification or something.
So we've seen the whole shift in wrestling and who gets over and who they hire and things like that in the WWE. But still, with those titles, they just willy nilly don't care.
They don't give a shit anymore. Well, another interesting thing for Raw is that next week they're having a triple threat tag team match with the Club versus the New Day versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Now, Monday night would be the night that they tie the Demolition.
This Monday.
Yes,
This Monday is the night.
They will tie the Demolition for the tag team title, so they have to win that match in order to break the tie.
So they'll win. Have you
And it's
noticed
a triple threat, so they can't just walk away.
They could lose
Have
by
you
not
noticed
getting
they've been
pinned.
doing what's with the heel finish lately? With the
Strange.
New Day?
I
They going to heel? They breaking them up?
On Raw, I didn't really see it because people were still cheering them on. Like they were throwing bootios all over the place on Raw.
Right, but that's what the crowd wants to do right now.
Yeah.
But the way they're finishing these matches lately have been very, very,
Yes,
very.
they didn't
heel.
even have a winner come out of that match because
Right.
the New Day jumped in.
Right.
So that's why they're playing the heel role, it seems like, a little bit.
Are we switching over, or are we breaking them up?
don't think so. Because they did the shit to get popular in the first place.
Right.
So they're staying consistent with their character.
That's true.
Kind of like Austin.
That's good.
Like Austin threw a stunner at anybody.
I am all for any sort of consistency. Cool.
Yeah, right.
So back to
Except for the consistency of mushrooms. Gross.
Nice. Dude, I'm with you on that. Can I get a high five? I don't like mushrooms. We had a chicken marsala this past week, and I like the flavor.
You like the flavor? That
I
comes out of
love
mushrooms.
marsala, and I hate mushrooms.
Isn't that crazy how you said that? Because I've worked in plenty of restaurants for years, but it's crazy because I'm not a big fan of mushrooms either, but the flavor that you get out of them is what you want. But I know what you mean, because then you chew them and you're like, I don't
They're
like this
fucking
shit.
slimy
I
and
don't
shit.
like this shit.
And truffles, too. Truffle oil. Fucking banging.
Why are
If
they
you-
so expensive?
Truffles?
Yeah.
Because they need pigs to find them.
Oh,
So,
my God.
That's interesting. Now that is good pod. So back to the title thing. So Bray Wyatt has his first title in the WWE,
Yep.
and it is the absolutely prestigious, majestic SmackDown fucking tag team championship.
Oh, no, because tag teams like Heath Slater and Rhino have held it.
They just let Luke
It's so
Harper hold
blue
it.
and silver.
They just
And
let
that's
Luke
it.
Harper hold them, too, because they're like, we're not holding these pieces of shit. Yeah. That's why I was like, they both passed him off to Harper like he was their little bitch. And I'm like, they don't want to even hold these fucking things.
Yeah, bro. I don't need it.
Randy Orton's like,
I'm saying-
I'm not even putting this in a
How many
case in
times
my
has
house.
Randy Orton won the fucking world title at this point? 10? Is he
10
at 10
times.
times? Is he at 10 times?
More than 10, probably. I think. Because he's not in the running with Cena for the Ric Flair sweepstakes, but he's up there.
Okay, so Randy Orton has been the world heavyweight champion at the very least. Fuck.
And he was the first ever second undisputed.
Nobody cares about your movies, Randy.
He was the first ever
These fucking
second
shitty
undisputed champion. Remember?
Yes, I do remember that.
First ever second.
Right.
So, oh no, Daniel Bryan was. He won it, right? And then Orton beat him.
No, because back at Cena had that. Remember was it Daniel Bryan? They had the
Daniel
match.
Bryan
Well,
beat Cena at SummerSlam,
right.
and then Orton beat him. That right there
in
for
the ladder
Money
match.
in the Bank.
In the ladder match.
Money in the Bank. It was SummerSlam. Daniel Bryan beat Cena to get both belts,
Yes.
and then Orton beat him. Oh, the first
No, when they unified the belt.
that was Lesnar, right?
No, it was Cena and Orton in a ladder match at Survivor Series. Or
And Cena won it.
no, was it TLC? Was it TLC match?
It doesn't matter.
Right, but
This is not important.
Cena won it. And remember, that's when he started wearing the belt around his neck. He put the two belts together
Yeah.
and had it around his neck. So yeah. Now, now this is a breakup that I don't need a slow burn on. Let's get the fuck rid of Randy Orton and the Wyatt family. I don't need to see this slow burn last until WrestleMania, please.
Unless he likes it and he's staying with it.
Seems like they're going with it because they put the entrance music
So
together
why
now.
is that he not wearing a dirty wife beater and jeans then?
I don't know. It's
He's
very
got-
strange. Bray Wyatt passed off Heath Slater to him in the
We need to change his look,
in the
right?
match.
And by changing his look, I don't mean a cut off hoodie.
Well, he's got a lot of toys out, and they just put out a video game. So
Okay, all right.
let's.
All right, all right, that's a good point.
Before I have to run, I'm just going to go down the TLC card really quick, and then I'll
Sure.
let you guys finish it out with a bang.
Sure.
You want to do we already kind of know the matches. You want me to just run the records, or what do you want to do?
Just run down the match and say who picked who. And
All
who-
right.
And who.
We had the AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose match, where across the board we all took AJ Styles. We had the SmackDown Women's match, which was a tables match, where Becky Lynch went through the table, and the only person to pick Alexa Bliss.
In a decent match.
It was a good match.
It got bagged on the internet all week.
It did. Joe was the only person to pick Alexa Bliss, so I'll give him credit on that.
I don't know why the fuck she won the title, but I'll take the win.
You'll take the win, dude.
Mm-hmm.
No DQ match. Nikki Bella versus Carmella. Bear was the only person that took Nikki Bella.
In a snooze fest.
That
Unnecessary.
that was fucking terrible.
Unnecessary.
The second best match of
Oh,
the
and
pay-per-view.
then it was like fucking Lord of the Rings at the end.
Yeah,
It's like,
it was weird.
just stop talking.
Just shut the fuck up.
It's over.
I don't understand. She's gotten so much better in the ring, but they're just like forcing her to try and be like the queen pin. You know
It
what I'm
sucks.
saying? Yeah.
They're forcing it too much on her,
Yeah.
and you can tell.
Yeah. Charlotte's the queen pin. Like,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
obvious.
She's not even close.
Yeah.
The IC title match, which I thought was the second best match of the pay-per-view, obviously. The ladder match, The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. Surprisingly, I was the only one that took The Miz, so I don't know how that happened, but you guys liked Ziggler in that match.
Oh, I thought Daniel Bryan wanted to keep this title prestigious.
That's what I thought. I don't know. I had a feeling.
I do think it's funny that they're on like day 17 of the Miz,
yeah, it's
the
like
Miz's
they're on like
reunion
20
tour.
yeah.
The reunion tour.
Dude, they're still counting it down, you know.
Yeah.
It's got to be over, right? That feud has to be over. Please let that
God.
feud be over.
Well,
Sick of it.
The Miz said on SmackDown he buried that. This is over.
All right, we're getting great matches out of it.
Ziggler wasn't even on SmackDown this week, so.
All right, so we're getting great matches.
I think Miz is the face that runs the SmackDown face, actually, right now. But
yeah, he's good, man.
Chairs match: Kalisto versus Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin won.
Where do you draw the line with the Miz and Ziggler thing?
Right now,
like Baron, is it worth getting the good matches? You guys think it's a good?
I enjoy the matches. It's just if the feud becomes stale when they push the match. Like they've fought too many times lately.
And you can't stand it anymore.
I don't mind it.
Because here's the thing:
the ladder match was good. It was a great
Yeah.
match, but
I think we all got sick of
You know?
Cena Orton because the matches weren't great.
they weren't great. That's what it is.
These matches are really great.
They're really great, so I don't mind seeing them. But just if they could, just maybe feud with somebody else before they keep just fighting each other 12 times in a row. Like I don't have to see that.
But that's the
every
thing. But
fucking
that's what they're
pay-per-view.
doing. That's what they're doing with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
And that's why you said maybe Sami Zayn could go to SmackDown or something because they're running out of feuds on SmackDown because Cena's not there. So they're like, who's AJ Styles gonna go up against right now?
Right.
It's like there's nobody there.
Undertaker.
When Undertaker pops up, is that what's going to happen? Because they don't have anyone that can fill that Cena role right now. That's the problem because he's already fought Ambrose. The Miz is the IC title, so he's not going to fight him.
so realistically, Baron Corbin has an argument.
They could push him up there just to squash him in a loss. You know what I mean? Baron Corbin.
You
won
think
the
they'll just squash him out like that? I think they'll put him over. They'll try to put him over as best they can.
They'll try their best. They could. But I don't know how they're gonna do it. But it should be interesting.
AJ will let him throw him around.
They could, and then AJ Styles just takes over at the end. They could do it. I mean, just to kill some time. I don't know if people will enjoy it, but they could. I mean,
A family of little people could bathe in his belly button.
Wow.
You hear that, Baron?
You hear that, Hornswoggle? The door's always open for a return.
Oh my God!
Accompanied by Hornswoggle and his entire family.
Including Vince, who's his dad.
Baron
Don't forget.
Corbin's belly button.
Don't forget that Vince is Hornswoggle's father. His
my
illegitimate father.
And we all know that.
What a stupid angle that was. Those were some dark days for the WWE. Those were some dark days.
But
The biggest thing was Edge retiring. Come out of that era.
well, that was glorious.
And we all know
Orton and Cena and Orton. And Cena.
Wyatt and Orton won the titles, so that was the last match. The records were Joe was on top with 4-2. I am also 4-2, and Bear was 3-3.
Which means I won because you eliminated each other.
That's cool, but this is tied into
This goes into the roadblock also.
Roadblock too.
And the last thing I wanted to say was that I know nobody saw SmackDown this week. AJ Styles was in the walking boot. The injury's not that serious. He didn't wrestle, though, against Ellsworth because they're being cautious with him. But he had a good line. Ellsworth came down to the ring, and Styles was making fun of him. You're going to get dirty deeds by Ambrose when he comes out here. Ambrose came down and dirty deeds him. But before that happened, he goes, Ellsworth was talking shit to Styles, and Styles goes, "You're drinking your own gin and tonic, man." That's why I'm like,
It's all you, bro.
it's always everything about the
It's all
fucking chin
you.
all the time.
Yeah, that's
it.
funny.
And he just sits there, and his reactions are always priceless. He's like, "My chin."
Yeah. So, all right. So the job guy is on top. We've seen this storyline before. It only goes so far, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
They're
Barry Horowitz never got a ladder match against a world champion.
No,
but
and I am looking forward to what they do with him for a funny spot at the Rumble. They'll do something funny with him.
It should be interesting to see what they do with him.
They should.
It should be
what
hilarious.
I want they should get Kane, fucking Baron Corbin, fucking Braun Strowman, and all the big guys show everybody all at once to just throw them into the 20th row.
That would be awesome.
That they should do that one of these days. You just can't you can't plant enough guys to catch him. That's
You'd have to have some people out there.
That's what I mean, but you can't. That's not really possible.
It's not possible because what if they mess up the throw too?
Yeah.
They're like, fuck it, just throw them out there.
Mess up the throw.
Just throw them out there anyways.
Yeah.
They might deliberately mess up the throw.
Yeah.
Like, you son of a bitch, I've
Yeah,
worked for
fucking
15 years of my fucking life. I look like a goddamn grizzly bear.
What do you think?
And you son of a bitch.
What do you?
World title matches every fucking week.
I just got squashed in a goddamn Texas tussle.
I'm in the Texas tussle, and you're fucking here getting a
I'm
title
6'8". God damn it.
Exactly. I'm a fucking Florida Gator.
Hoorah, hoorah.
Yeah. National championships and shit.
That's fucking crazy.
How about, you know what? Braun Strowman, they're starting to give peeks at a personality. He
was
can talk.
He was off Raw too, by the way.
And he looks less goofy with the haircut. Like
Yeah.
that.
Like, which is funny because it's a goofy-ass haircut.
It is. That's funny. Like, it's like counteract the goofiness.
But,
Two positives.
he's
two
doing all
negatives
right.
equals positive. What?
He's doing all right. Mm-hmm. I think I like the direction.
You think when the
They keep him strong too. They let him. That's what's cool about like a Survivor Series match. They did a really good job of building him up this year, just like they did with Roman Reigns a few years ago. You get to let the wrestlers really get in, the workers really work, and then all of a sudden Braun Strowman comes in and looks like a hero because everyone else is flopping around. I like that stuff.
You think he'll end up with the Wyatts again eventually?
They have to cross paths somehow.
At some point, right?
At the
Should be
Rumble.
interesting. Maybe at the Rumble, or maybe they'll team up at some point. Like I don't know how he.
Well, you say the same thing about the club. You say the same thing
Exactly.
about
It's got to happen at some
the
point.
Shield. Like, and that's cool because the brand split provides these opportunities, these rare glimpses, like the Shield triple powerbomb AJ through the table. Which, really, I mean, at that point, you could have done some cross promotion and like put the club back together, put the Shield back together.
I think that's where they're going.
Eventually,
Yeah.
and just have them run roughshod over each other on both shows, and just like
You think we'll get an AJ Styles Rollins feud eventually too?
Oh man,
That'll
boy,
be fucking
some
beautiful.
you have to.
Bro, AJ Styles is just unfucking believable.
Are they gonna do like a? They used to do like the draft every year to switch up.
I heard
the
they
roster.
are because they want to put AJ on Raw.
They're gonna just strip SmackDown bare completely.
I'm Bear.
Who are they going to put on SmackDown? That's the question.
No, I know.
Well, they can. I guess they can keep the Miz there. He holds it down pretty well. I mean, that's the segment that everybody wants to see at this point.
Bring Cena back.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
No, Cena's
Eventually
has
he'll be
moved
back.
on to.
Vince is probably begging
He's
at
like,
this
please,
point,
dude, SmackDown,
pleading.
please.
Cena.
Your wife is
God
not.
damn it!
Your wife is not holding it down enough.
God
Please come
damn it.
back. Her feuds with Carmella are not working.
Paul, you need to get back on TV.
Come here, Tori. Linda's going to Washington.
I knew that was going to happen too because I was like, as soon as Trump get in, I was like,
Chris, let me see those thighs. It's a fucking party. Pat, book the Rumble. I'm taking it off. Can you imagine? Just like honestly, like what is that household like?
It's probably fucking crazy.
They're old now, so it's probably
hilarious.
It used to
Do
be.
you think
probably,
they say good morning to each other? Like, they got separate bedrooms.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
They probably have like 6 separate bedrooms for each other.
Well, actually, on Raw, I know you saw. I don't mean to cut you guys off. I know Rollins is going to have the feud with Jericho now, but he said he needs to go through Jericho first. But he wants to break up the Kevin Owens thing. But he called out Triple H too.
Yeah.
So when's that coming? That's the question.
Probably Roadblock.
Yeah.
Cost Rollins the match against Jericho.
Yeah.
He said, "I want Triple H." That's what he said. So obviously, he's coming at some point.
That was a good promo.
It was really good.
Really good babyface promo for him.
Yes.
He's not great. He's not great at the babyface thing, but that was a good promo. He's a great worker at the babyface thing, but he's just so hateable. He's got that swarmy face.
His fucking when he was like with the what do you call it? Stephanie and Triple H, what do they call him?
Authority.
The
Authority. I was going to say the corporate
the corporate authority union.
corporate authority union.
The corporate union authority ministry.
People loved him when he was a bad guy. It was just he's fucking unreal when he was
Order.
You know, order.
Corporate authority ministry.
Order club.
Order.
Order club.
Of aces. Of eights. Shit.
Still, it landed nice. Anyway,
Tussle of Texas, dude.
yeah, the Texas tussle. Somebody go and get their ass whipped.
Somebody gonna get that.
Hoorah!
Of nations.
I'm Domination.
Oh!
Brought to you by Boricuas.
Oh, my God.
Day.
Boricuas Day. Let's have a Boricua strap match. Remember those? Caribbean strap matches?
Oh, yeah. Austin Savio Vega had a really good strap match.
Savio Vega.
Brad
Austin
Field.
puts over Savio Vega on his podcast all the fucking time. Anytime any like match like that comes up, he like puts over Savio and how much he loves that strap match.
And Bradshaw had a good strap match with Savio Vega.
You know what was awesome a couple years back? The best strap match in recent memory was Silas Young, the last real man, and the crazy Briscoe. Oh my God, what the fuck's his name?
Oh, Mark.
Mark. They had a great strap match.
Really?
Yeah, it was really entertaining.
That sounds good.
It was entertaining. It was super good. They brought out some spots. All right, so the Hitman is going to take his exit. Do we have anything else to say?
I'm just hoping that we get one surprise entrant in the Rumble, maybe like Steve Blackman.
Steve Blackman. I haven't heard that name in a while, huh?
Truer words could not have been spoken.
You know what we'll do, like we do with when we do it that month for the predictions for the Royal Rumble. We're all going to pick a surprise entrant we think is coming in before any of the rumors come out. Let's do it like
That's good.
soon, so we kind of.
All right, so everybody gets like, you get. So what do you want to do? Like 5 potentials. We'll do like 5 potentials, and then everyone gets one.
One guarantee.
Lock.
One sentimental hopeful.
Like a resurrected Randy Savage.
Right, and right, no limits on it, no limits. Everyone gets one resurrected hopeful, but you got to give a good fucking reason. So think about it heavy. Think about it
Like
heavy.
they're going to hologram him like Tupac or something.
But in
like
real
that.
life,
Yeah.
for those of us who've listened to this podcast and heard about the Royal Rumble drinking game, it must be said that there's been an invitation, there's been a gauntlet thrown that we actually broadcast, whether live stream or we record it and send it to you. We've been challenged to try to not vomit all over a microphone.
I'm going to have to take off work on Monday that day. I'm going to have to schedule that with my bosses now.
What is the actual date of the Royal Rumble?
I'll look it up right now.
So, because I'm totally willing to do a live show.
So it's going to be 2007.
They're all live shows. We just send them later.
Stream it live.
Yeah, I just mean like we don't have a whole lot of like go back and edit.
No.
Yeah,
no, we don't.
we just kind of talk for an hour.
Yeah.
Royal Rumble 2017, January 29th.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off that Monday and Tuesday because I'm going to a concert on Monday night.
Oh, who are you seeing?
Yeah, if you can-
Aesop motherfucking Rock.
No shit.
Nasty. You want to go? I got an extra ticket. You can have it for free.
Oh my God, yes.
Okay.
Done.
Coming.
Yeah.
Right on. It'll be me, you, Mrs. Maga, and
Mrs. Maga.
my buddy Richard.
ASAP Rocky. So you're going?
Yeah, you know the Tizos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I
whole
mean,
ASAP.
not well.
Yeah, but
ASAP Mob's going to be there, everybody?
No. This is a different guy.
Who is it?
His name is Aesop Rock. He's a incredibly intelligent
So it's not ASAP Rocky. There's an ASAP Rock,
rapper.
too?
No, and here's the thing. A lot of people would a lot of Aesop Rock fans would fucking totally berate you right now, but I actually like ASAP Rocky. I like the ASAP Mop a lot. So but these are totally different guys.
Who's this guy? I haven't heard of him. So
He's been around for like 15 years, right? And he's super intelligent. He's got the most prolific vocabulary ever.
So he's a
in
rapper too?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's an incredible rapper. As a matter of fact, he can think of things that his mind isn't even human.
Wow.
But on top of that, he produces everything.
Okay.
He's so good that he just scored a movie for Quentin Tarantino's film company.
Okay.
From top to bottom, scored
Now-
the entire movie.
Now I respect him. There we go.
He's incredible. And
That's great.
So this album though has been his most successful album because he definitely hasn't dumbed it down per se, but has not gotten so scientific, if you will, and he's like gotten a little bit more relatable, and he's reached out to he's been able to touch fans and stuff like that. So
Better hope your guy stays in the Rumble so you're not too sick to go to this concert.
you don't understand. You will never experience a hangover like this.
Dude. This is gonna be.
It's talk about self-loathing.
And you know me, I don't really drink that much, so it's gonna be like I'll be fucking probably throwing up like not even halfway through the Rumble already. Probably if my guy gets eliminated.
Yeah, you might take flare chops.
Let me.
Yeah, are you allergic to fish?
I'm not a big fan of fish. I'm not allergic, but
I'm a violent non-fan of sardines.
I am going to tell you now that I will ask for a flare chop from both of you since we're on the show, and I will put it out here now that I will be asking both of you for one.
But it's not going to be one, bro.
That's the thing. You have the whole room.
Here's just picture this.
Shirt off or clothes on? What are we doing?
Can I paint a picture for you?
Yes.
Real quick. You have to take your shirt off for the chop.
How red are people's chests after this? How bad?
No. Everyone does the sardines, bro.
Everyone does the sardines.
Bro,
Who the
fuck
fuck
it.
would wanna do
You know what?
that?
I'm calling it out now.
Dude, it's a
fuck
room
the sardines.
Dude,
I'm getting chopped.
It
I want
literally
the chops.
is. The majority of it is just a room full of cops. Like, do you want them just chopping the shit out of your chest?
As long as they're going to give me a pass if they pull me over, I will take the fucking chops.
Yeah, fair. Also fair.
I'm calling it out now. Tell them to. I want the chops. All right.
So
I'll take the chops one time at least. All right?
Allow me to paint a scenario for you.
I'm not going to like it, but I'll do it.
So let's
I'll
say
probably be bleeding after.
So let's say you get your first guy. Like, you go to the ring full of action figures and you grab, I don't know, the Ultimate Warrior, sentimental favorite, whatever. You look at his foot and it's 2. And you're like, the second guy who enters the Royal Rumble is my guy. This motherfucker is getting eliminated.
That was me last time I played.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins. Number 2 is the best.
Well,
listen,
yeah.
I'm telling you, number 2 is the best. 1, you're fucked.
Well, no. That's what... Hey, how about this? One year, it was Dolph Ziggler at number 1. The piece of paper I got said, number 1, haha, sucks to be you. And he lasted to the final 4. I didn't eat a single sardine that night.
No shit.
So, here's what I'm saying. First pick you get, right? You get, like, The Miz. And you're like, okay, he might hang in here for a while. You know,
actually, didn't we make a Miz clause one year because he had so many teases and we couldn't take that many shots? Yeah, you weren't there that year. You were in New York, I think.
Maybe, yeah.
And so Miz has whenever there's a legit tease, like the thing is
thrown over the top.
The thing is always the thing is always references that Shawn Michaels 1 foot on the ground thing. And whenever there's something like that where the guy's about to go out and he doesn't actually go out, everyone has to take a shot.
Okay.
Miz did it so many goddamn times one year that we just had to stop. Like I'm like, okay, so you know what, Miz, you've won. You've won here.
What happens if somebody can't take one and they start throwing up and shit?
That would happen anyway, so there's buckets everywhere because of the sardines. So you're good.
Does Lindsay go to this too?
No.
So let's say you get them.
Honestly, like
no women
the fairer
allowed?
sex, they wouldn't even. No, they're totally allowed. They would not even. The fairer sex would revel in this. Like they'd be so disgusted.
I took a girl once.
Was she vilely disgusted?
Oh,
yeah.
She's like, I'm never hanging out with this guy again. She's like, he's like that because he's like, damn, I thought you brought her over. You're like, I'm gonna give her a good time, you know?
No,
she's like,
I needed a ride.
Hey, I needed an Uber. over here with that.
All right, so no, check this out. So you get the Miz, and you're like feeling good. Yeah. You get the Miz, you're feeling good, right? You're like, okay, cool. He's gonna last for a while. But then like number 8 is like Lesnar, and he clears the ring, right? So you're like, shit.
Yeah. Right.
So your guy went first, so you're good, and you're waiting. And the countdown happens. 4, 1, burn.
Santino.
Goldust. Or Santino, right? And you're like, fuck. So you pound either 2 beers, a beer and a shot, or 2 shots. Eat a sardine before he gets to the ring because you have to get back into the game.
That's what you got to do.
Oh my god!
That's literally
he sets foot in the ring and gets clotheslined over the top rope. So before the next guy comes down, you must drink another beer and shot, 2 shots or 2 beers, eat another sardine before they get into the ring.
Yes.
2, 1.
Some other scrub that gets
Goldust. Like, yeah, dude. Because they're feeding them to Bray Wyatt or to Lesnar.
How many guys are at this party?
Oh, it ranges every year, bro. It varies. It could go. We've done them with 4, and we've done them with 25. Literally.
Wow.
The one in my house was big.
That was the biggest one that I saw.
My parents' house, yeah.
Your parents flipping out for that? Were they like?
No, I was like, guess what?
It was a garage.
Cooked up a bunch of food, right?
was like, I know, yeah, and I was basically like, because my apartment, it's just not possible.
Yeah, it was a souped-up garage though. Like there was room.
So my dad's got like he's got his man cave where he puts all his toys, his vet, his bike, all that.
Yep.
I'm like, lay it down, all kinds of plastic, because it's gonna look like a murder scene. I'm coming over, and like I fucking brought my TV. They at the time they didn't even have a flat screen in their house. I took my TV from home. And I put it in my parents' garage.
Oh my god!
And we just fucking watched it. And that was actually one of the, like I was pissed because I got to a cable bill. Like the WWE Network launched as I was getting the cable bill for the fucking Royal Rumble.
Oh my god!
How annoying is that?
No.
$60 fucking bucks.
Like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, I fucking as the network was coming out, I was getting that cable bill.
Wow. Are people so wasted sometimes too that it's like they would even have a sardine, but someone else is throwing up, and they're just like they just hear it and they like see it, and they're
I'm sure.
Smell it.
Yeah, I'm sure. The smell alone, bro.
Oh, I'm gonna have to.
It's pretty wild.
Nose plugs. I'm gonna have to bring them in there for that. I don't know.
It's
always funny
vile.
too because it's always fucking frozen outside. It's like the end of January, and there's always like all this snow on the ground. Everyone's like fucking just fucked up.
Dude, I don't know if I want to go to this party.
You definitely don't, dude.
It's literally like torturing each other. Like that's.
He's like, you don't even want to fucking go.
No, I'm saying, dude.
Nobody wants to. Like
wants
we're bought in.
Nobody wants to. But
I
guess
wanna
what?
invite, like, all these chicks
Because by
over
that
to
point,
it.
dude, by that point, there's been like promos cut, and like literally like the shit talking is like extreme.
Promo.
Are you gonna cut a promo this year again?
Yeah, I don't know how the.
Did you see the video?
Yeah, I showed him both of our promos.
Dude,
and they were great. Well, see, but the thing is that like the best part about Bears is that his like everyone was like really being real pea shy and bitch like about it until you fucking busted yours out. You were the first one to bust it, and like everyone was bitching about it. Like no one was doing them because Mike called us out, and then like a week later, no one was doing it, and you fucking finally broke the ice with them.
Yeah, and then
Yours was so funny.
yeah, thanks.
It was so funny. I fucking died because like you cut a legit wrestling promo
Yeah,
and then said based off of your name.
yeah.
That was fantastic because it wasn't like a gimmick because we all made up gimmicks for ourselves. The rest of us, you cut a promo like as yourself.
Well, because again, I was
Turned
the
up to
first
10.
one.
Yes,
I was the first one. So I threw
that
together
was
like
sick.
a little like Southern accent, and I'm like, "Have you ever tried to throw a bear out of a ring, or anything for that matter?"
yeah. That was,
Like,
but then at the end, it was like self-deprecating because you went like, "Wait, are you talking about the actual Royal Rumble or the drinking game?" Because if it was the drinking game, I'm gonna eat a bunch of food and throw up a whole lot.
yeah, I basically cut it as if I were entering the Rumble.
So I couldn't convince Lindsay to be my handler.
Valet.
You know, my handler. You know what I'm saying? And Wild Samoan, just like crazy, like fucking. I didn't want her to like cut the whole promo for me, but that didn't work out.
She's got to do it this year.
I might have to do that this year. So
How does everybody get home from this party too?
I don't know. It was at last time I played, it was at my parents' house.
Just fucking Uber, Ubers this year on call or what?
They're all cops.
They'll just get somebody to drive us home.
No,
Should we do a tag team promo?
Oh, you guys could pull a sick one off.
because we got to talk about the live show.
You could do a tag team promo.
Ooh, that could be good.
What's the tag team name?
We'll figure that out.
Alright.
So basically,
Because I could be the handler. It doesn't matter. I don't have to be the same character I was last year.
yeah.
I'll do that shit. I know that it woto be better if it was Lindsay because she's like really cute and like a woman and she'd be like a valet. But
So basically, I had to improvise, and I was running out of time actually. So I went and got Lindsay's fucking like necklaces from like the most ridiculous like beaded thing I could find. Took my shirt off, put it on, put my afro wig on.
I couldn't get enough.
I just fucking just
Samoan as fuck.
spit all kinds of gibberish,
killed
and
it,
then
dude.
fucking
Alugadamana.
and then just put subtitles there. I couldn't even go.
Dude, that's
what the subtitles were about.
That's genius, dude. That's a genius promo right there.
But it was fun, and I think that's a really good way to just hype up the game, and that's why you want to play at the end.
Exactly.
It's been so hyped up, and then you always forget. It's one thing like you could tell a guy anything. You could tell a man like, oh, you know what, dude, in March you're gonna have to get a vasectomy. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be cool. You'll be fine, right? Like it's in March.
Yeah.
You're just, you know what I mean? You can literally tell them like, 4 months from now, I'm good.
Don't worry
yeah,
about
yeah, sure, bro.
Don't worry
no
about
problem.
it. It's all right.
Fuck yeah, dude. You know what I'm saying? So like, by the time the buildup comes, you always forget a year later how much this shit sucks.
Oh my god.
How bad it is.
Which, yeah, do you want me to post the promo telling these guys I'm taking the fucking chops, all right? They're going to all be fucking ready to
right,
go.
Yeah, you forget how much these chops actually
They're
fucking
hurt.
blow. Yeah.
Like, fuck you guys. I know you guys are all cops. I'm taking these chops, all right? They're gonna come there prepared, ready to chop the shit out of my chest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see you doing like and I know he's not your favorite right now, but I could see you doing an Ambrose thing, being like, give me the chops. I fucking like the chops, all right? You keep your sardines, put your sardines up your ass.
Put your sardines up your fucking ass. All right?
I'll take all the chops.
Woo! All right, well, that was fun. What a good show.
It was a good show.
I got to wrap it up.
So does Enzo.
Yeah, he does.
Because if he doesn't...
Wrap it up, B. What's that movie?
You don't want to knock
Dave
up
Chappelle
Ruse's
movie.
wife. You fucking
It's
goddamn
from the Dave
adulterer.
Chappelle show. It's from the Dave Chappelle show. He's like, wrap it up, B.
The STD, the fucking the Sesame Street STD characters.
Yeah.
So gross.
Oh my god.
I could feel my blood curdling when I see.
Would
that
you see
shit.
that? Oh man.
Really, any mention of STDs in general, my
Yeah,
blood
you're just like, no,
curdles.
sorry. Mm-mm.
AIDS.
Must be nice to have been married for the last, 20 years.
Yeah, I haven't used a condom since like
He's
2006.
like, I haven't used shit, man.
Anyway, on that note,
That's gonna be the post of
Four.
the show today.
4, the Bronking Bucko of Stucco, Shockmaster, and the excellence of exhale, Brett the Hitman. I am Joe Maga. Peace out.
All the Ronco Busters.